you want to take out either 2 forwards and or 2 wingers halfway through the first half, and then you want to leave those subs in halfway through the second half, and then replace them with your starters, right? And this way, it sets up nice gaps for your players to feel not only productive, but it creates a coherency with your subbing. It makes it more of a group effort. It's what my coach, Gatorade Coach of the Year, Doug Nevins, used to do when he coached us when we were #1 ranked in the whole country, U18, PDA Cruyff. So if you have only, someone asked me it was under 8 or under 9, and they said they had 8 total players, 4 players played on the field. I said sub out all 4 players, replace them with 4 more players, leave those players on in the start of the second half, and then put the other 4 players started back on, and then you use that substitution time to have the weaker players develop, right, to get better. You almost want to use the game time as a practice session for your weakest players, because if you put them in, if you put the weakest players in, you're basically rewarding them. You're giving them guilt minutes. And some people may not see it like this, but like, if you reward them with playing time for being the worst, I think it creates a false, it's like rewarding them in the wrong way, right? Because the best players should play the most, right? Like that's what someone told my father. My dad asked, how come Andrew doesn't play? And one of my coaches said, well, the best player should play the most, and Andrew's not the best. So that's when we went to go get additional skills and drills training, and that's what made me become the player that I am today. Because if I would have played more when I was terrible, then I would have never went to go get the training. So you got to be fair and reasonable to your kids, or else you're going to set them up for failure. It's like rewarding bad behavior or poor skills, right? So, right, if they don't invest the time outside of practice, if they don't invest the time in practice, they're not committed to developing, then there's no reason why they should play if they're not better than the players, right? The goal is not only to develop young men through sport of soccer, but you gotta encourage them to compete, just like in life, right? If people will compete, you'll compete for job positions. You want to show yourself to be the best. You gotta, the U.S. men's national team, it's a competition to see who are the best players of their roster, because you want to compete because it's fun, and if you can't teach them to compete effectively in practice for the starting spot, then I don't think you're encouraging them to be who they could become, right? So those are my thoughts on substitution. So I hope this helps. All right, thank you.